Hi, Gothletts, and welcome to this week's Trust Me, I'm a Goth. This week you've got me all on my own, I'm afraid. No hat today, but Morgna may make an appearance next week. Sorry, I was stuck in my teeth. So I've got a good mixture for us this week. Let's crack into it. I'm really attracted to my husband's brother and dad. How do I stop it and act human around them? Wow, there is so much going on in that sentence. Let's get into the body of it. I'm 24 female. I've known my husband since we were 15, and he's always been the sweetest and hottest guy I've ever known. Never met a guy like him. That's awesome. He's got 2 older brothers and an older sister. All very good people. Something about that family man. Not only that, but his dad looks like he's in his 30s at 53. Oof. I can't help but notice how similar my husband's brothers and dad are to him. Well, they're kind of the same gene pool, but we'll go on. But they all have something very different about their appearance, and I feel guilty just being around them and treating them like family because of how extremely attractive I find them. I'm not acting awkward around them because I'm shy, but because I'm so flustered. I'm worried my husband will find out. I've never seen dudes this hot in my life. Wow, you have got some issues there. And I'm guessing for me reading this, it's all that lust attraction. It's not actual love. But if his dad, is always in his life and raised him and his brothers, they're bound to have some similar attributes to their personality as well. You're in a tough one there. But there must be something that you see above all in your husband than you do in his brothers or his dad. Or you might have pursued them. And think of it this way. If your husband's dad looks great at 53, your husband's possibly going to look great at 53. Let's look at the positives here. And you probably have, if you do plan on having any children, I know some people don't, the most stunning children going. Maybe actually be truthful to your husband. You should be able to be truthful to your husband and just say, look, I'm a bit flustered and I've got these lustful feelings towards your dad and your brother, but it is only that. It's just because you all are from the same family and I need to get it out. And you might find just getting it out in the open, telling your husband, might take those feelings away. But something needs to be done because it will just keep building and building if not. Well, I hope that can help. We'll move on to the next. What do you do when your daughter finds out you're stricken? Okay. 2 months ago, I, 36 female, began dancing as my long-term boyfriend was sent to prison. Yeah, that sentence just screams issues. My daughter, who is 17, picked up on changes and inquired about the shifts in my schedule. Very intuitive daughter there. Initially, I told her I was working night shifts at an Amazon distribution warehouse. However, she recently discovered my stripper bag in the trunk of my car and confronted me with a text and a photo simply saying, "What is this?" When she returned home, I chose honesty and revealed the truth about me working at a strip club. She seems to be in shock, understandably so, and didn't ask many questions. I'm thinking on how best to approach and discuss this matter with her. What would be the most sensitive and effective way to handle the situation? Okay, so I'm a very, I don't know if liberal's the right word, open-minded parent, and one of my crotch goblins, as a joke, messaged me, "Mum, I'm becoming a stripper. You okay with it?" My response was, "That's fine, just remember to be safe. Is it a decent establishment? Are you going to get paid hourly or per work you do? If you need any help, I'm here if you need me." This wasn't a career choice my crotch goblin had chosen. She just wanted to prove a point to her friend that I would practically be okay with anything they did as long as it was lawful and safe. Again, if your daughter seems to finish answering questions to you, if there's nowhere of awkwardness, just leave it and let it be. If she came and asked you questions, answer them honestly. I see no wrong with people being a stripper. I see it depends what kind. Obviously, no contact. I see it as an art form. If you've seen some of those pole dancers, the moves they can do, absolutely amazing. So for me personally, your daughter's found out, she's asked some questions. If she comes and asks more, just leave it be. If there is that air of awkwardness between the pair of you, going forward, ask her, "Is everything okay? You seem, a bit distant, etc." It might not be that she's just found out that you're stripping. And were you for having the confidence to do that? So, if my daughter had found out I was stripping, they'd probably say, "Oh my God, just don't tell me if any of my friends go in." To be honest. But no, it's a job and it's paying your bills. And I'm guessing it's potentially something you like to do. If it's not, maybe look at other employment options. But no, just you've answered the questions she had at that time. Let her know you're open if she wants to ask any more. And that's that. Next one's a bit sensitive, but we'll get into it. Is it okay to be asexual? I recently came out as asexual. Well, I didn't come out, it was something people already assumed of me, but I confirmed it to everyone, including my mum and boyfriend. He was happy because he also shares a similar sentiment, and my mum was a bit confused by it, but wasn't necessarily mean about it, more apathetic, I can't pronounce that word. And my bisexual 14-year-old sister is judgmental as always. The main reason I chose asexual is because of all the sexual abuse I've experienced from 16 to 14. I don't find sex to be anything but repulsive, but if you enjoy it, more power to you. First of all, I mean, you've not said whether you're female or male, and you've also not said your age in that. It's okay to be you. You have legitimate reasons why, you find asexuality more comfortable. I will say, if you go through trauma counselling about your experiences, it may come a time when you find you may be able to enjoy and find enjoyment in anything sexual. You may not. But if you do, be prepared to have that asexual label turned on its head. I hate labels for simple reasons people feel pigeonholed into them. You should never feel pigeonholed into them. I will be honest, I am bisexual. I don't advertise it, but I don't hide the fact. I've had more long-term relationships with men, but I've also had relationships with women. For me, I just can't do the long-term relationship with a woman. That's just my personality and how I clash with people. The fact your sister is bisexual, your mum obviously is none bit judgmental, and I can understand your mum being confused, especially with you having a boyfriend. But that confusion, again, I wouldn't stem from being rude, as you've put it, not being mean. I would just stem it from the world we live in has so many labels and so many different categories. It's hard to pick just one. I don't feel I'm an authority on this, but I do have a bisexual son who prefers males over females. I also have a child that prefers they them pronouns. That was hard to get my head around, so it was later in life. That child is also with a trans femme partner. Again, because I see people as people, and I tend not to see them as male or female. It's really odd. I know I'm not the only one out there. So for me, labels don't overly work, and I have a hard time doing the whole "can you describe this person" kind of thing. Well, yeah, they're a person. So it's fine to be asexual. Some people really don't have an interest in that whatsoever. Some people may have a medical reason why they don't particularly like sex, like low hormones, but you do have a legitimate experience which understandably would cause you to have these feelings towards it. So yes, it's fine and good for you for standing up and being yourself. Right, we'll move on to the next one. And we're back onto the AITAH ones, or AITA. So, am I the arsehole for not giving my daughter her college fund money? My daughter is 17 and is currently in her senior year of high school. My husband and I have been saving up for her college since she was newborn, and we have almost $200,000 in the account. Yeah, you're gonna need it. She recently told us that she doesn't want to do the brackets traditional route of going to a 4-year college straight out of high school. She wants to take some time off from education and get a job and figure out if or when at all she wants to go to school. This was fine to me. I support her no matter what path she decides to take. However, she asked if we could give her the money because she wants to buy a new car amongst other things. I told her no, because if she does choose to eventually go to school, I still want there to be money left in the account, so I'm going to hold on to it for a bit longer. She says that she is entitled to that money because it was meant for her, and she should still be able to have it even if she doesn't want to go to college. Am I the arsehole? Right. Straight off the bat, no, you're not. Very good for you for, not pushing your daughter into an educational path. My crotch goblins have gone down different paths. I did have one that didn't go to further education. They went into the work route, but they are now looking at going into further education. I have 2 that have gone straight on to further education, and the other crotch goblins aren't old enough yet. But I do agree with you. If I had a fund set aside and that fund was for college, that is college fund. It's not a go and enjoy your life fund. My crotch goblins had a trust fund, and that trust fund was for them to do what they wanted with, and they have decided to pay their own way through university. Obviously I'll help where I can, and that mainly means being a taxi service. They live hours away at uni. So no, I believe you're right in withholding money, because as your daughter has put to you, she doesn't know what path she wants to take. And she may want to go back into education, and you're going to need the funds there for her to go back into education. If she wants to go out and get a job, great, use the wages from that job to buy that car. Ultimately, and I'm divided on this as I've got older, I saw education as the route to getting a higher wage, to getting that better standing in employment. And if she is able to go up the ranks of employment within a few years, then yes, give her that education money, because she's not going to need that education. But I would say set a time limit for that fund. Say 2 years. You've got 2 years to figure out what you want to do, because that should give her enough time to see if employment's the way she wants to go. But no, you're not the arsehole, and I don't think your daughter should be as entitled to it as she is to that money. You've set that money aside for a specific purpose. Now, if you'd have said, here's 200,000 for when you leave school, it's for education or whatever, that's slightly different, but you've set it aside for education. And I hope you can sort it all out and get there. So, next one. AITA for not taking her home immediately after period mishap. Okay, let's get into this. I was in a 2-hour lab and my girlfriend messaged me. She said she's in a ton of pain, her period started, she doesn't have tampons/pads or Advil. She said she can't drive home. I'm going to sneak. Excuse me. She can't drive home. It hurts that bad. Oof. So she's going to skip class, and I need to take her home. She was waiting at my car. I messaged my friends, and they said they were good to record class for me. Some of my classes don't give PowerPoints purposely, so you have to go. Fantastic. I like that idea. But they said they got me and would record the lectures. The 2-hour lab I was in was trickier though. I have a quiz each lab halfway through that is 20 minutes long, and these quizzes are 40% of our grade. Oof. He also does not do remarks, no exceptions, so I can't miss. It would be 5 points clear off my grade, and I need the A in the class. I take my grades really seriously because I want to go to medical school. I wouldn't miss that lab if my house was on fire. LOL. Missing the rest of the lab would suck too. My friends said they'd record it, but unlike my lectures, our lab is completely visual, so recording is useless. But I decided I'd skip for her anyway and just bug my friends to teach me the material I missed. I told her I'd be 30 minutes for me to take the quiz and then I'd skip the rest of the lab. But she said, wow, so your grade's more important than me and my health. I said, it's not more important, but it is important. I said she could go to the bookie at our school and buy advert. I'm guessing that's like a place you can buy it, and you're in America. She was close by because I parked my car in the garage, that building, but she said she's in way too much pain to go. She managed to get to a fucking car. Plus, she said she'd literally bleed through her clothes and has no tampons. It would be embarrassing. Am I wrong for making her wait? I said all the bathrooms on campus have free tampons. Hey, great for your campus. I told her to grab one from any of the bathrooms, but she said again she can't move, she's in too much pain. How's she going to get out of the car to get into her house? Anyway, at this point I'm not really sure what to do, but I'm already missing my classes and the rest of the lab for her, which I never do, so she should see I'm trying to accommodate her. I told her it's not far at all, only like a couple minutes walk to the elevator. I'd buy her tampons I'd fill from the bookstore if she waited for me. She said, holy fuck, I don't have a choice. I guess I'll wait in. But you are being such an asshole right now. You care about your grade more than you care about me. I was like, oh my god, LOL. I was frustrated and said, you have your period at the same time each month. Why didn't you bring tampons / Advil? Good question. This isn't a surprise, which resulted in her getting upset. I was making it her fault and she called me sexist and said I have no idea what it's like for her. I agreed I didn't, but said I'd be there in 20 minutes. I took the quiz and ended up meeting her at my car 20 minutes later with bags full of tampons and water, but she's not happy. She's been ignoring me since and keeps being passive aggressive with comments. ITA here, should I have skipped the quiz? Right. I'm just going back to the top, right? So yeah, you're not the arsehole at all. She's an entitled witch. I'm guessing she's nasty when it's that time of the month. So, out of the Koch goblins, I have 3 that are assigned female at birth, and they are nasty pieces of work. But unless she is totally irregular, she would have supplies on her, knowing that time is coming. Unless she was just totally unprepared or wanted an excuse to spend some time with you and be dirted on. And again, I don't mind sharing because my life's on display. I am female. I am extremely irregular. Do you know what? I have tampons and pads in my bag. I don't use them. I have them in case I'm in a toilet and there's a female in there who needs some assistance or has forgotten theirs, or in the UK you pay a couple of quid for the machine, you don't have change on you. That's just me being a woman and thinking, shit, if I was caught in that situation, I would like help. If she was in that much pain, she managed to get from her class to your car. Why? If she couldn't wait those 20 minutes, obviously she didn't she call one of her girlfriends to help, her parents? You know, there's other people who could have helped. And if she is in that much pain, that would have been an urgent care jobby, because you shouldn't be in that much pain. If you are, you need looking at, because there's probably other issues going on. So that's my thoughts on her. I just felt she was being extremely selfish. She just wanted someone to dote on her and take care of her and made any excuse. to have your attention there and then. So while you're not the arsehole, periods will come and periods will go, and there will be mishaps and there'll be embarrassing moments. There always is. You've only got one shot at that quiz, and that's 40% of your grade to get into what you want to do, into medical school. That's a hard job in itself from what I hear. I've got no experience, but I'm guessing it would be. Getting into medical school can ensure you get a job in the medical field, which can be a high-paying profession. Your grade is got a long-term impact on your life and what you do. Her 30 minutes of being in discomfort is it's 30 minutes and it's going to come and it's going to go, and that's it. It's not lifelong. Plus, one thing I wanted to know, if she did bleed through her clothing in those 20-30 minutes, fair enough. If she didn't, she had time to go to the bookstore to get supplies and to the toilet to sort herself out. So she'd be making a big fuss for nothing. I'm just guessing she's one of these hormonal creatures around that time of the month. I had 3 of those. Luckily, so in a sense, I'm a bit of a bitch because I don't have much sympathy. But no, you're definitely not the arsehole. And for her to ignore you, that's on her. You sacrificed something you wasn't going to sacrifice. You sacrificed that class. And you relied on your friends. And this is the main thing. You asked your friends for help. She only asked you. Because I'm pretty sure she'd have asked her female friends. They would have run to help her. And no, you're not sexist. At all. You're looking towards your future. Now, if she'd have needed urgent care or had an accident and she really needed you and you was the only person available, then yeah, you would have been the arsehole. But this wasn't an emergency event. This was something that was going to inconvenience her, probably embarrass her, but you'd get over it. So no, you are not the arsehole. If anyone wants to fight me over this subject, they can do. Right. Next one. Am I the arsehole for cutting off our neighbours? Sorry, let me restart that. I've skipped ahead. Am I the arsehole for cutting our neighbours off from our Wi-Fi? I'm going to say no, I haven't even read it. Okay. We recently had a family move in next door. They asked to use our Wi-Fi while they waited for theirs to be activated. It was supposed to be a day or 2. Wanting to be good neighbours, we went ahead and gave them access. Very nice. Today I got a message from our ISP that we were getting close to our data limit and we still have 12 days left in the month. Oh, ouch. I mean, I have unlimited, but yeah, I know some people don't. In the history I'm able to view, we've never used even half the data in a whole month. My wife and I considered our recent usage and we couldn't think of any unusual data usage on our part. And looking at our router information, the neighbours are still using our Wi-Fi long after theirs was supposed to be activated. So they have children. If they have children, I bet the kids have had theirs taken off them at home and they're just hooking onto yours. Anyway, I decided to change the Wi-Fi password and cut them off my Wi-Fi. Fair enough. Job's a good one. Obviously, this is a no-brainer. It's our internet bill and we don't have to share access, especially if it results in us getting overcharges. But thinking about it after the fact, I maybe could have handled it better. Maybe offering to split the bill if they needed the access a little longer. oh, we wanted some good neighbours. I didn't want to raise the issue though because I'm very introverted and suffer from social anxiety. Was I wrong in what I did? No, it's your Wi-Fi. Now, obviously I see your dilemma in this. I may be my neighbours, I don't not get along, but I don't really speak to them. I'm very in my own little world, our own little family. You know, we sometimes talk, but I don't know the ins and outs of their life. If you felt like that, maybe just slide a note through the door saying, you know, can you let me know if you still need internet access? Our internet charge has come through and it's quite high. You know, be honest with them, or just say straight off the bat, you know, I'm hoping you got your Wi-Fi set up by now. Due to the usage on our account, we're changing the password as the bill was quite high for us. I hope you understand. If, to be fair, I'm one of these neighbours that as soon as my Wi-Fi got set up, I would have lost their password anyway to have my Wi-Fi. But I do know there's people out there that would take advantage of you and just not get their Wi-Fi set up. I'm in the UK, you can probably tell, and I would go days without having Wi-Fi because I was getting it set up when I moved house. I mean, I'm lucky enough to have the internet on my phone, which lasted for those few days to get it set out. I didn't need to ask neighbours for help, and we also have libraries that provide free Wi-Fi. You've got about an hour to go on it, unless they're not busy and you can have more time. So we do have other resources if we need to use Wi-Fi in the UK. But no, I don't think you're the arsehole for that. That's all. Ultimately, you're paying the bill. And maybe just cut it off if they come knocking on your door saying, why have I got no Wi-Fi? Saying, have you got yours sorted? Don't feel guilty for doing something that is for your family. And ultimately, this is. You've still got to go the rest of the month. Well, those 12 days. So, no, you're not the arsehole, and your neighbours are if they've been leeching off you when they've had Wi-Fi. Okay. The next one, I've got, this is an ultimate one. AITA for not tattooing my girlfriend's mum for free. I, 26 female, recently started dating my girlfriend, 26 female, and things are going well. Fantastic. We've met each other's families before, but there's a language barrier between her parents and I from certain another country. Okay. I also work as a tattoo artist, and that came up recently when my girlfriend's mum asked me about getting something done. The thing she wanted was very tiny and wouldn't take more than 10 minutes for me to do, and I told her I'd charge her less than minimum price. I usually have. Typically the minimum is $80, but I said I'd do it for $50. She seemed shocked that I'd charge her at all, and even though my girlfriend backed me up a bit, I started to feel really guilty. Should I change my mind and say I'll do it for free? I'd like to add that I pay for my own supplies, and even though the design is very small and simple, I would still have to do a full setup and use supplies like I do for any tattoo. Am I the arsehole? Okay. I was going to say no, you're not, and give a reason, but there is an update. Before I go into that, let's read the update. And now I didn't post this long ago, but I ended up chatting my girlfriend's mum again about 45 minutes ago, and she brought it up again, then proceeded to insult me by saying I have too many tattoos. If I get any more, I wouldn't look feminine. I mentioned I'd give her a discount like we talked about before, and she just started saying too many would make me not more beautiful. Too many would, I'm guessing too many tattoos would make me not beautiful anymore. So my girlfriend just apologised on her behalf and we left. After we left, my girlfriend started crying in the car and basically let loose that her mum is really critical about women's looks and said some really hurtful things to her in the past about her facial features. And mum also apparently keeps trying to push my girlfriend to have plastic surgery, and that's why there's somewhat low contact. I was shocked and confronted her, and I'd like to point out that she is gorgeous, bless you. But my initial issue is definitely not a problem anymore, since I won't be doing that woman any favours. Right, okay. So, good on you, and no, anyone. I mean, I've got a crotch goblin who's got a deviated septum. So their nose is a little bit wonky. Now, I'm not going to push that person to have surgery. I have suggested it purely because a deviated septum can cause issues with breathing and in your sleep. So I would only push my crotch goblin to have that done if it is medically necessary. But no, I see all my children as gorgeous. Definitely wouldn't get them to have any cosmetic surgery done. If they needed it themselves, I wouldn't encourage it, but I would support. My mother's a bitch of that, say that outright. Now, my mother, I can say that. But we'll go back to the tattoo thing, because I do have a brother who is an absolutely fantastic tattoo artist. He has his own studio, all above board. And I have been tattooed by him many a times. And you know what? I don't get them for free. Granted, one I kind of got for free, but it was a birthday present off my dad, so he paid for it and he didn't realise how much I had to pay for it, but that's another story. Granted, I'll be honest, with my brother, I have never asked for a free tattoo. May have joked about it, but it has only been a joke. I wouldn't expect anyone to give me something for free when it is their livelihood. And I know how much it costs for that setup. You've got to pay for the ink, you've got to pay for all the disinfectant, all the barrier stuff, the papers, the inks, for doing the transfer. Then there's your time. Now, granted, 10 minutes isn't long, but it will take you longer than that to prep to do the tattoo. So I think you giving her a discount is very, very reasonable. Obviously, you're not going to tattoo her out at all, which I agree with you on that. But no, I wouldn't expect it for free. I mean, even my crotch goblins have been tattooed by their uncle. And granted, one of them I put towards, but they didn't get it for free. Because that's someone's livelihood. If you give all your family stuff for free, you're not going to be able to live. Granted, if you wanted to do it as like an exchange in service, in a sense, you was going to give them $50 for a present, but you know what, I'll do that tattoo instead for a present. You know, that's one way you could get around it. And granted, one of my crotch goblins was a bit cheeky to their uncle and said, don't you want to do it for me for a birthday present when they turned 18? And he went, no, you paid for it. Fair enough, I'm not going to have a go at my brother for saying that. It's his livelihood. But yeah, I can see why there's low contact. And that woman wanting a tattoo, then saying more tattoos would make you ugly. It's just contradicting herself. Yeah, get rid. My voice is going, so I do apologise. But we do have one more left. So, am I the arsehole for refusing to share my homemade pizza with my roommates? I, 24 female, found myself in a bit of a predicament last night. I need your judgment on whether I'm the jerk or not. Oh, excuse me. So, I'm a bit of a foodie and I love experimenting with recipes. Last night, I decided to make homemade pizza from scratch. Oh, yum. I spent hours perfecting the dough, crafting a delicious sauce, and choosing the finest toppings. The result, a masterpiece. Sounds it. Now here's where the drama begins. My 2 roommates, 28 female and 26 male, came home just as the pizza was ready. They immediately caught a whiff of the mouth-watering aroma and asked if they could have a slice. Now, I've been in situations before where I've shared my creations and it often ends with them finishing it off before I get to enjoy much of it myself. This time I decided I wanted to savour every bite of my hard work, so I politely declined. I explained that I had put a lot of effort into making the perfect pizza and really wanted to enjoy it to its fullest. Well, you'd think I'd committed a crime. They called me selfish and accused me of being inconsiderate. Things got a bit heated and they even threatened to report me to the AITA community. Hence, I am here, seeking your honest opinions. So Reddit, am I the arsehole for not sharing my homemade pizza with my roommates? And TLDR, made an amazing homemade pizza, refused to share it with my roommates, and now they're calling me selfish. Am I the arsehole? So there we go, that's it in a nutshell. No, you're not the arsehole. Just like anything else, if you'd have put a frozen pizza in that oven and it had come out and it didn't smell delicious, would they ask to share it? Possibly not. And the fact, it's your food, it's your pizza. No, you can't have my pizza, but I'll quite happily tell you how to make one. Could work. But no, you're not selfish and you're not inconsiderate. It's not like you agreed to make them food. Your food. I mean, if you are feeling that in this life, maybe cut off a slice, put it on a plate and said that's all you're getting, so they got a little taste of it, I maybe would have done that, but ultimately I don't think you're the arsehole. There's kind of a rule in my house, if I'm eating something I really enjoy, there's only one person that gets to share that with me, and all the kids and the adults can look at me drooling, and at the moment it used to be my doggy, and I used to share all my meals with it. Now it's the cat, because that cat just looks so cute. But no, you're not the arsehole. Maybe you could just say, cut a little slice off for them and give them that little slice instead of them helping themselves. But yeah, it's your pizza, you eat it. And on that note, we're going to end this week. Trust me, I'm a goth. As always, thank you for listening, even with my voice going. If you've got any stories you want to submit, you can email them to us at hello@deadchatty.uk. Just put Trust Me in the subject box so we know what it's about. Other than that, thank you for joining me, and I'll be back again this time next week, and hopefully the fantastic Morgna will be joining me, and you get 2 goths for the price of 1. So that is it, my lovely Gothletts. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next week.